Morning. So today we are going to get start talking about how do we save. It's kind of an introduction to savings. What are some things that we should know? What are some things we should look for when figuring out what type of account to open to save? Every account has their own benefit and limitation, and so knowing where to put your money is going to be the best way to maximize the return on your savings. Because even though you're saving money for a larger purchase, you want that money to earn you more money, right? So to start off, we have to understand this banking relationship. What happens exactly when you go to a bank and you open up an account, whether it be a savings account or a checking account or a CD? We'll talk about that, the CDs, later on. So what happens is banks are first off, banks are not most banks are not nonprofits. I'm sure you can find a financial institution out there or somewhere where they are a nonprofit, in which case the money they earn just goes to cover their expenses, things. But banks are in it to make a profit. So there are two main ways that banks make a profit, make money, generate revenue. Um, One is by charging fees on different accounts. If we're talking about a checking account, that could be an overdraft fee when you when you only have $50 in your checking account, but you withdraw 75. That would be an overdraft fee, right? But minimum monthly fees, they charge those if you don't keep certain account or certain balances, um, or if you don't meet other criteria, they'll charge a monthly maintenance fee, um, and various other fees, so wire fees, foreign transaction fee, all these other fees. Sometimes it can feel um, as if banks are nickel and diming us sometimes. And there have been, obviously, customers don't like to feel nickel and dimed. So there has been a movement along banks to move away from that nickel and diming and be more transparent with their fees. The other way of that banks make their money is they take the money that you deposit with them and they loan it out to other people. And so when they loan that money out to other people, those people pay interest on the money they've borrowed, and that interest goes to the bank, and that's how they generate revenue. Okay, so thinking about that, interest gets paid to the bank when they loan it out. So interest is getting paid to the lender, the entity, whether that's a person or a financial institution like a bank. Interest is getting paid to the lender, and it's essentially the cost of borrowing money. That's how we can typically look at interest. It's the cost of borrowing money. If you want to borrow money from a bank, you're going to have to accept the interest rate that they're going to charge on that. So, what about the relationship when you deposit money into a bank? Well, typically, when you open up an account and you deposit money into that account, you're acting like the lender. You are the bank's lender. The bank is borrowing your money, and you are lending it. You're giving it to the bank and saying, "Hey, here you go. You can loan this out, but it's still my money. I still have rights to it. So I expect to be able to withdraw that money at certain points, depending on the account." And so that's another bank relationship there. You are a lender, and the bank is the borrower, right? And so what can you expect? Well, if the bank is borrowing your money, you would expect the bank to pay you interest on that money. And they typically do, depending on the account and the nature. If the bank is going to have access to your money, and guaranteed access to your money for a long period of time, well, that's money that they can loan out to someone else. But if you're going to give the bank your money and say, hey, bank, I am going to be requiring this money any time of day, in any amount, small, large, as long as if I put $50 in, I may buy a 25 cent stick of gum. I don't even know if they have 25-cent stick of gum. They buy like a $2 pack of gum, or I'll use it at the vending machine to get a Coke or whatever. Well, that's anytime you take money out of your account, that's money that the bank can't lend. And so if those are the restrictions that you're putting on the bank, saying, hey, I want access to my money at any time of day, anytime I want, and in any type of amount, as long as I have it in the account, the bank's going to say, okay, we can give you that access, but we're not going to be paying you much interest, if any, on that money, because we have to be ready to give it back to you. So there's really no time frame that we could safely loan it out without you asking for it back. So, and we'll see how that relationship kind of fits in on the different types of accounts, because each account has certain conditions on it, either put on by you, the depositor, the lender, or put on by the bank, the borrower, in this sense, right? So here's the last relationship I want to talk about. Let's say you have an account with the bank, and it's a savings account. It's earning some interest, but then you decide to take a loan out from that same bank. Do you think that they're going to charge you an interest rate that is lower on that loan that you're taking out from that bank than what your savings account is? No. They're because they have to make money, right? So now you're a borrower. When you take that loan out from the bank, you are a borrower. So you're going to pay interest to the bank. And let's say you pay 4% interest, depending on what type of loan you take out. That could be a home loan, maybe a car loan. Personal loans are going to be unsecured. We'll get into that. They're going to be higher, unsecured loans, right? But we'll get into that later on. But they're going to be 4%. Let's say 4% loan. You're not going to get 4% on your money that you deposit, because the bank has to make their own money from it, make profit from it. So they're going to be charging you or paying you at a much lower interest than what they charge for loans. And that's how they make their money. They're never going to pay you more interest than what they can make from it. Okay. All right. So the next video is going to be on checking accounts, and then we'll kind of move through. But go ahead and answer the questions I posted, and talk to you in class. Bye.